So, people go around and predict, you know, um, when is Bitcoin going to go up or has it reached its peak? And there's a lot of indicators that we could all look at. But there's this one big indicator that didn't exist in the previous bull markets. The previous bull market indicators are around block halving. So in the 6 months prior to block halving, there is a continual bullish sentiment that will push price up. Okay. But this time the block halving is different because it's paired with a new indicator, which is the amount of Bitcoins that have been purchased by the ETFs. So as you can see, the source is from far-side investors, and this is all public data because it's, to be an ETF, you need to be publicly audited. So you have your 10 big ETFs. And as you could see, based on those numbers, just today, which is the 13th of February, the consolidated demand of all the ETFs is another 631 Bitcoins. Okay. So the day before, it's 493. The day before, 541. But all up, as you can see, all these days are positive days of new Bitcoins being purchased by the ETFs. Now, we could consider this institutional money, fresh money coming in, because people who have been in this space for long enough already know how to buy Bitcoin through their own sources, right? Bitcoin is a good hedge against all the other assets that are available, investable in the world. And as you could see, these 10 ETFs have, in the last week alone, purchased another 3,775 Bitcoins. So, because it's fresh funds coming in from institutional investors, it means that it is really locking up a lot of supply that is coming into the market. So, never mind Bitcoin has significantly reduced its supply outflows through Bitcoin mining because of the numerous block halving. Remember, each block halving, as we've covered in the previous chart, each block halving reduces the amount of Bitcoins introduced to market by half. So initially, the first 4 years was 50 Bitcoins per 10 minutes. Second 4 years was 25, then it's 12.5, then 6.25, etc. So needless to say, this time, even though the block halving has a very small impact on the introduction of supply, the Bitcoin ETFs have a very large impact on demand. So, I'm glad that we're on our way towards 100,000. And I'm glad that there's a lot of people who trusted the narrative and chose to participate in buying and holding Bitcoin. So I see there have been plenty of opportunities in this space. that we can all take advantage of. But first, we need to take advantage of something that is immutable, something that cannot be manipulated. Okay, and that is, you have, as you can see, 10 ETFs here, all buying Bitcoin every single day, non-stop. So I can see everybody who buys and holds Bitcoins coming out on the other side doing well. But what's next? Well, we first need to understand that Bitcoin and where it sits is in a very unique position. It was able to be the first to create a massive community because it's the first token that is built on blockchain. So what we need to do now is look forward to the next wave, which has to involve a new community. You know, look at all the institutional capital flowing into Bitcoin. They're buying Bitcoins that are held by people like me, people like you, people who got into Bitcoin earlier. And we're just, as they buy, we are the sellers. These Bitcoins we acquired, some for free, some for $10, some for $100, some $10,000. But ultimately, where are we sitting right now? We're selling it on to institutional investors for a profit. Now, we all need to understand that you cannot build consensus and achieve a great outcome if it's not based around maths. Because an idea can only be spread to a much larger community if we're able to mathematically prove that it just works. It's like what they say with science versus pseudoscience. A science is something that you can test for, you can replicate. And pseudoscience is, it worked that one time and we can't really replicate it, but it seems to be harmless, so just take it anyways. So I see, if we're able to see where Bitcoin succeeded and replicate its success around maths, then we could really capture the alpha, which I've talked about in the past, of being at the beginning of something. And, I'm always about being at the beginning of something, even if the people that are not involved, well, the people that are involved are not the best people. There's a saying in Silicon Valley, you move fast and break things. That's how all these startups launch. There will be a filter, there will be scenarios where these companies will do things that, if you look back, are wrong. Okay, but the thing is, what is right and wrong are defined by regulation that has yet to happen. So was I wrong convincing people to buy Bitcoin, convincing people to create their own token and, well, create exchanges, create wallet solutions, create an entire ecosystem that allowed a whole bunch of value that doesn't generate any revenue? Just like Bitcoin, just like Ethereum, there is no revenue model in those platforms. So am I wrong in encouraging people to do that? The result of which, there's always going to be unhappy people at the end. But again, you know, we're here to move fast. We're here to break things. We're here to show regulators what's broken and to help them fix that. So, I just wanted to, this week, very quickly, because everybody's looking at the price movements, everybody's looking at it reaching all-time high in the last 2 years. And you know what? Just if the price increase keeps up, just like it did last week, then we will exceed all-time high since the beginning. Now, if it doesn't get there next week, it'll get there the week after. If it doesn't get there the week after, the month after. But it is inevitable. You could see that this is a medium-term bet that institutional capital have placed. They are putting their money to work into an ETF, and the ETFs are forced to buy Bitcoins from the open market. It is soaking up all the supply demand that is hitting the market right now. And that's really exciting. So, if we're not at all-time high by next month, then again, it'll eventually get there. Because block halving is 62 days away. Just a smidge over 2 months. And it is not hard to make money in this kind of market. It is not hard because history always just repeats itself. Okay, history always just repeats itself. So as long as we're patient, as long as we follow trends, we will take advantage of what we've been able to learn and identify from the previous market cycles. So there you have it. Really appreciate everyone's attendance, and I do look forward to next week. Thank you.